I mean, I've spent countless hours, days, nights in here non-stop making the work I want to make. My name's Carlos Machado, and I'm a abstract minimalist artist. When I first started, I would use a lot of spray paint, and all my pieces were primarily with spray paint. I would do a lot of stencil work, and as I kind of got older, I kind of shied away from the spray paint. I felt like it put me in kind of a box as a graffiti artist, and I didn't want to be a graffiti artist. I don't want anyone to have a certain idea of what it is before they see it. It's completely up to the person who's looking at it at the moment. You know, I've had people say, oh, it looks like this, and then another person say, oh, it looks like that. And I enjoy that. I enjoy the ambiguity of paintings when I make them. And the idea kind of stemmed from my work as the style was changing, so I started making these figure forms out of just shapes and colors. Very dumbed down, very simple. And I wanted to make them large scale. And I've always worked on gessoed canvases. I've always worked on canvases that are already primed and white. And I've never worked on a raw canvas. And I really enjoyed how the colors looked on a raw canvas on a neutral background. The very first painting I made, it was a very big piece, and it was for one of the first shows I did. And I wanted to connect to something. I wanted to make it about something personal to myself. And I come from a Cuban background, and my grandma had just gone to Cuba for the first time in 60 years. And she went back to her hometown, and it was destroyed, and she had all these pictures that she took on a disposable camera. And I called her and I asked her if she had all these pictures, and so I go to her house and I started looking through all these photos. And then I come up with this idea that I wanted to make a painting based around her and based around her upbringing and her hometown and this experience she had. And so I printed out all these pictures, and I made sort of a giant Cuban flag out of her pictures. But I think that moment when I made that painting, I was like, wow, like this is really something. And I think that feeling that I got when I made that, it was like the best gift for myself and for her that I could have ever really thought of. And that feeling was just something I was drawn to, and I kept going from there. But I think that Cuban flag and connecting to my roots, and that was a really important moment for me. Sense of purpose and sense of identity is definitely the biggest thing for me in terms of connecting with my art. I like for people to be able to see my art and say that's Carlos's piece, or and appreciate it for that. And I think that boils down to feeling comfortable with your work. I think it's important not to be too comfortable, because as an artist, I feel like we're always evolving, and I think it's important to evolve. And important to show growth through your work. I think my name and the fact that I would consider myself Cuban American is enough to, you know, link it to my art. I don't think my art needs to be so clear-cut Cuban, because when you see Cuban art, it has a distinct look to it. And I don't think my art falls in that. But me being from these Cuban American roots, I think. Definitely, I think it's very important in my art and the artist I am. At least in my own right, I feel like it's always been important for me to be remembered in the space, and that's why I really like creating physical paintings, because that lives forever. You know, you may not, but that painting doesn't go away. So I think future goals, I just want to be remembered for what I make.